Welcome back to the show. Always a pleasure to see our next guest. Her stuff is just beautiful and powerful and creative.
Absolutely, and she is resurrecting the fashion wasteland with Dahlia Drive. Wendy Van Riesen is joining us now. Wendy, how are you?
Hi, Wendy, how are you?
Great. Happy to be here.
Well,
okay,
it's nice to see you
do
again.
the coolest stuff, but maybe you can tell us about Dahlia Drive and what it is that you do.
I resurrect or take old material or clothing and I piece it together and to make it a new garment.
Where did this first come from?
Let's take this, what you're wearing,
School, yes.
and tell us what it is and what you did.
This was a white slip, and I went to Emily Carr,
Yeah.
and I was taking a drawing class, and so at the class I drew this with dye onto paper.
Wow.
So this is kind of tiny roses in a giant rose that
Right.
grows and grows and grows. So then I took
It
this.
grows and grows and grows. Of course,
This,
poem
and
too.
while I wasn't in it, I pinned it onto this and
Yeah.
wrapped it all the way around the back, so that image is also around the back.
Wow.
Then I heat set it in, so you're wrapped around an image. You're contained in the image rather than it just being on one
It's
side.
incredible.
And we're
That's-
going to see how that all sort of unfolds as we're going through different examples and stuff as well. And you have
Okay.
some beautiful models joining us today. We can bring a first one out and tell us about this piece. It is gorgeous.
Yeah, so this is a very vintage piece, the slip, and I dyed it the pink. This is a Leonardo da Vinci image on the front of Leda, from Leda and the Swan. And then I have a gate image. I really like a lot of these curls and very evocative.
They're very feminine.
Very feminine. This particular piece here is made from a curtain shear, which I buy by the truckload.
You're
and
kidding.
And I have the pattern cut out, and it's white. Then I do the same painting onto paper with polka dots, or also I'll just turn you
So
around.
vintage slip, vintage curtain, and then you've got this beautiful outfit.
It's so
That's
cool.
right. That's really beautiful and feminine. I mean, curtain shears are made from polyester, and that's what takes this dye really well.
Yeah.
So and then I can play with it wherever I want to put. I mean, I made this one specifically for this because I didn't want to overpower the dress. 'cause
Yeah, it's
so
nice and
beautiful.
light.
Beautiful. Thank you very
Okay,
much.
let's bring
Thank
out
you.
our next
Beautiful.
model and tell us what you do with rust stains.
I buried this nightie, I think it was originally, with a gate, on a gate. So I buried it in my garden, which is
The gate?
Yes, and my neighbors are watching. But now I live on a boat, so I don't get to do that
You don't get to
anymore.
bury your gates
You
anymore.
have to bury gates in other people's yards
I'm
now.
thinking of doing it at low tide.
You should.
Under the sand.
Now you can see the image of the gate on
That's
here
right,
that
yep.
is picked up on the slip.
That's right, and then I dipped it in tannic acid, and so what happens is that, which is a relatively natural dye of like leaves,
Yeah.
right, John?
Yeah.
Or tannin for leather. So yeah, so it just made this beautiful pattern afterwards.
And what about the kimono on this one? What is it
Okay,
made
so
out
it's
of?
made out of a scarf. So in the back, this was a large scarf, so I was able to use the back and the front also with a scarf material. So like I've got a scarf here that is not yet used, but it will be similar. So I'll use this image here.
And this is a vintage scarf.
Yeah, I'll use this for the back of the
Cool scarf.
of the image.
kidding.
And then parts of it, I may not be able to get this whole front panel out, but I might use it for here. So there's a taste of the back is always in the
Yeah.
front, right? I try to use a darker piece here so that if this, for instance, were wrapped,
And we'll see the wrapped version of the next one
then
too.
you have the dark panel in the middle.
And it
so
all matches up.
accentuates the waist.
Well, why don't we bring out
Gorgeous.
our next model and you can get an idea of how you can
Thank
wear
you.
the kimonos for day wear.
Yes.
Tell us about this.
Okay, so this one is made from sari material that I found. This one I painted. This was actually a test for red that I did on paper.
So you were just doing swatches for red,
Red,
and then it worked.
I liked it, so I cut the part out
Which
there.
red do I like? All of them.
All of them. Let's just put them on. And this was a particularly nice piece of yardage. This was not
Oh, beautiful.
But in the back, you can see how it's just, and again, I love that, the
Well, and
curviness.
the different styles and the crunching on it and sort of all that stuff too.
Yeah, the different textures. And what's great is it's all the same style, but but they all look so different by virtue of
Okay, let's
Beautiful.
bring out our next
is
model.
pretty.
She's wearing something very different.
Thank you.
Tell us about this look.
Oh, so this is a new, these were curtain shears
This
as
is
well.
day to night.
This is day to night. Isn't this adorable?
This is
Day to night to bedtime.
This is right. It's all in one. You never have to change.
Explain what
Have a
the green
shower.
was again.
Okay, so underneath this, there's a slip that I dyed pink, and it's got a Leonardo da Vinci heart on it there,
Yeah.
right,
Oh, yeah,
with
yeah,
the writing. And on the back, it has the spine. right? So that is a dress you could wear at the beach even if you wanted to, or out for the summer.
And we can kind of see what you've got going on in this one. That's what she's got underneath, that same print with the spine.
This is Leonardo da Vinci. I didn't design this. But
his anatomical studies.
But I'm standing on his shoulders for sure. And then I made this out of curtain shears. These are the bubble dresses kind of the 50s, and I just love them.
Really cute.
I mean, the side view of them is quite lovely. You know, you get this lower part here.
The gathering.
And then if you wanted to be really...
The draw, the gathering.
Dun, dun, dun.
If you wanted to be really, you know, a little looser.
You want to skip through the forest?
If you wanted, that's right, you could just let it all
hang out.
Stunning.
Okay, let's have a look at some of your other stuff.
But these 70s, you see, in the 70s is really my, that's one of my eras.
But you're bringing it forward, right? You're bringing it, it's just very cool. Okay, we're going to talk about some of the stuff behind the table.
Oh, great, okay.
Because you have a new grouping as well that you just started.
Yeah,
and this is the inspiration, really.
Yeah, I was inspired by... I was first inspired by windows because the way that this dye works illuminates light. And so then I started thinking of women and stained glass windows.
So we're looking at the stained glass window here.
That's right, and this is Chagall's window of Issachar. He did 12 windows. Yeah. And I painted each panel by looking at this. I painted it by hand, freehand, as inspired by. And then I made a slip out of each panel. So this particular slip,
is the one with the bird,
is the one is this panel. And so, did I need to hold this longer? Was that
no, you're
okay,
good.
That's good. And then, so the paper wraps around like this, and so you're encased in a pane of glass.
It's so beautiful.
As one should be.
As one should be, and it's sort of, as women are, kind of fragile, a little brittle at times.
When people are around me, they're encased by a pain in the ass, but that's a totally different thing.
that we've got to get to here. Let's bring out this gorgeous one. Tell us about this look.
Okay, so yeah, this actually has the skeleton on it, but in resist. So I painted onto the paper in black, and then I screened the skeleton on, which you can see.
I can see
here,
it, yeah.
Here in clear, so it basically resisted the color. So this could be a nightwear. It's a little edgy. You can see the bottom, your legs coming down there, the bottom. Right?
And it's amazing, these vintage slips are the perfect canvas for you to do this because they do pick up the dyes so well.
They're beautiful, and I think the whole, the spines on the back, I'll just to show. So you can, the material.
Wendy, feel free to just move people around if you need to.
Oh,
no, I'm kidding. I'm totally joking. It's great.
So there's the spine there, but you can also see the front part because the dye just bleeds through. So you get this really interesting montage.
Cool.
Now we got to get to the showstopper and bring out our last model. Tell us about this fantastic. I like how you're surprised.
Oh, Wendy's like, I love this one.
Who made that? No, this one I love because I was inspired being asked to do the show. It was for Valentine's, so then I said, okay, I'll do this giant heart with the polka dots.
That is beautiful.
And the drips. Do you know some of the sweetness and the pain of
love.
Of love and of the heart.
Now,
so there's our big heart.
What have we got under
pain.
here? Is it
as a crinoline. It's a crinoline. I didn't dye anything.
Not too high, everybody. Come on.
Stop. Okay, no, that's fine. And that's
it's a crinoline. Is what we concluded there.
Oh yes,
people.
and I'm going to take out because some of the jewelry came from
they've been
10th and Proper,
10th and Proper,
and Twig and Hottie. Yeah.
So thanks to them and the hair and makeup people did a great job today as
Verve
well.
Hair Lounge and Elements Mineral Makeup.
Fantastic.
So I love the look. It's really
Dahlia
neat,
Drive. All you have to do is go to the website and you can find out all the information about all the different
one more time?
kinds of pieces we've been looking at today. Wendy, thank you so much. Yeah.
Oh, no.
Whoa. Want to see mine?
You know, I need a thrill every day.
It's a thrill a minute here. And you can also visit the studio if you'd like there in East Vancouver.
We're gonna